The end of 2014 left many in disbelief when the grand jury decided not to indict the police officers involved in the killings of Eric Garner and Michael Brown.
As an American, my sensibilities were assaulted by both of those non-indictments.
Media personality and professor Karen Hunter hosts a radio show on SiriusXM Urban View that focuses on African American issues in the United States. Hunter explains the frustrations for not only her audience, but people protesting across the country.
We're not even talking about convictions here. We're talking about, can we get a trial for this man whose life was taken and for what? At the worst, selling loose cigarettes on the street? Which he wasn't. He was actually breaking up a fight. So should he be dead today? No? Okay, well let's have a trial to figure out who's responsible. And we couldn't even get to that point. So I mean, I don't know, the level of frustration, I think that's what you see in the streets.
We asked legal professor Steven Zeidman at the CUNY School of Law what shocked him the most about the two verdicts.
That there was no indictment on any charge. There's a full range of charges, from intentional murder to manslaughter to what they call negligent homicide. So where it just gets, if you will, easier for a prosecutor to make out a case. And you have to understand as well, and I don't think a lot of people fully appreciate this, what you're asking a grand jury to do. You're not saying convict beyond a reasonable doubt. That's the trial standard. It's a much lower standard. You're just saying, if you're the prosecutor, was there reasonable cause to believe that a crime was committed by this person?
What goes into the grand jury process? In New York State, when a case is taken to the grand jury, the district attorney meets with witnesses and police officers to collect evidence. A grand jury is made up of 23 people with no judge present. The prosecutor calls on witnesses to provide testimony that supports an indictment. Once the presentation is complete, the jurors vote for one of three decisions. A. Indictment, meaning a felony was committed and the case should go to trial. B. Non-indictment, meaning there was no crime. Or C. The jury may direct the prosecutors to file for an offense lesser than a felony. Many have voiced issues with the level of secrecy of grand juries. There are other options when a felony is committed, such as a preliminary trial, which is presented in front of a judge and is public. Chris Hermes from the Grand Jury Resistance Project says it's time to do away with grand juries altogether.
It's become anachronistic. Prosecutors do not need grand juries to gain indictments or to charge people. There is a formal charging process that most prosecutors can use, which is the complaint process, and use a preliminary hearing to put on evidence to show the court that this person is worthy of being tried. That system works perfectly fine.
While Zeidman agrees that preliminary hearings are the way to go moving forward, he admits there's ultimately a trade-off.
I think preliminary hearings, I think they make perfect sense for everybody. The only argument against a preliminary hearing, really, other than the prosecutor saying, I want to retain control, is just efficiency. That it takes more time and it costs more money.
Others, such as former Assistant DA Hassan Ahmad, have highlighted the unique bond between the police and prosecutors. Ahmad suggests cases against police officers be tried by special prosecutors.
I think that the police and the district attorneys, they work together all the time. There's a very close-knit relationship between them. So I do think there's a value of any situation where you have a close-knit type of situation where you have an independent prosecutor assigned. It happens all the time if the district attorney feels that there is some kind of a conflict. They don't normally do so when it's a police officer, but maybe they should.
Ahmad is not alone. According to Zeidman, indictments on police officers are extremely rare, which might contribute to the growing sentiment that independent prosecutors should be used in cases against police officers.
No prosecutor should ever be allowed to sit on a case where there's police brutality.
But what you're seeing across the country is more and more movements for special prosecutors. So as opposed to the local prosecutor, that's number one.
As long as you're going to continue the grand jury system, I think a special or independent prosecutor is crucial to having a fair look at the evidence and being able to actually indict when there is probable cause to indict.
For 219 West, I'm Gabriella Iannetta.